I'd like to, first of all, welcome everyone. I appreciate your attending, and we appreciate your participation and input as well. My name is Larry Kahn. I'm the president and treasurer of Big Tree currently, and I think most of you probably know me by now. And you'll have an opportunity to ask questions. Normally we have a question and answer session at the end of the board meeting, which we will if there's enough time. But I know there's a number of concerns and questions about a few of the agenda items. So I'd like to open it up for at least 5 or 10 minutes after each one of the major issues that we'll cover to give you an opportunity to ask a question or make a comment. The only thing that is really, really important is that everything be handled in a respectful manner. As you know, the Big Tree was kicked out of the YMCA a year ago because of disruptive meetings, and so any questions need to be handled in a very respectful manner. No yelling, no swearing or bad language, no personal attacks. Other than that, keep your comments as direct and to the point you can, and we'll try to give you the best, most honest answer we possibly can. So I want to thank Carol Schaap. I think she does a great job videoing the meetings and making it available to the many homeowners who don't have a chance to attend the meetings. They can see it online. A lot of the information we're going to be covering has actually been sent out to homeowners via the website and an email blast. And I'm wondering how many of you have read the report on risk and insurance issues at Big Tree? Okay. Okay. There was also a 19-page report that was sent out on how we do in the third quarter review. I hope you've read that. Anybody that's not signed up for the Big Tree website at this point, I would highly encourage you to all homeowners to do so. There's a tremendous amount of information. Besides just the financial statements, we actually have all the bills and all the invoices and everything you could get by going to CAM, as well as the videos. All of our Big Tree documents are available on there, and a lot of photos and information about Big Tree. And we want to make it as informative as we possibly can, so we're continuing to work at developing it. So I appreciate that. So number 2 here is establishing a quorum of board members. Again, we have 3 elected board members for 2016, and I'm here, and Elizabeth Davis is here, and Lisa Waters is here. So we have a quorum, and this will be an official board meeting of Big Tree. The third item is reading of the minutes of the previous meeting. The last couple meetings we did not have a quorum, so they were not official board meetings, and there are no minutes therefore to read. Again, if you're not on the Big Tree website, just going over real quickly, if you go to www.townhomesofbigtree.com, go in the upper left-hand column, click register, put in the password, lowercase, or either one will work, Big Tree 2016, and you'll fill out a homeowner information form, which is confidential, and then you will be given access to all of the information on the website on an ongoing basis. Plus, you will receive information and updates. So when something important happens at Big Tree, we'll be able to send out an e-blast email to you, as well as newsletters, election information, etc. So I'd highly encourage you to go ahead and do that. The next section is the President's Report, and our first issue is to talk about the Hurricane Matthew and the related issues. And let me make just a couple opening statements. And I know there are a number of questions and issues. A lot of them are, or probably most of them are answered in this risk and issues in Big Tree. And there's also a letter from our attorney basically outlining the legal position on at least the cost part of it. There are also obviously a lot of practical issues involved as a result of the hurricane. A lot of people are calling it the hurricane of the century. It did cause some serious damage and a big mess and some problems at Big Tree, but in my view, looking at the big picture, we're really lucky and we're really blessed. 286 people were killed and 80 by having a direct hit. It was 40 miles offshore in Jacksonville, and it could have been really a horrendous situation. Again, gladly, one of those doesn't come along too frequently, and we hope it's at least another 100 years when it comes, if it does. So, from a practical standpoint, it affected a whole lot more than just Big Tree in the whole First Coast area. St. Augustine, all of the Duval County, moving up into South Florida, and knocked down hundreds and hundreds of trees, smashed houses. The waterfront areas or the areas along rivers and creeks had some major flooding problems. Obviously, it knocked out power, so for almost 2 weeks, a lot of homes in Mandarin didn't have power from JEA. So it was a significant a mess. We're still working to clean it up and do the best we can to move forward and to work out the practical issues relative to the insurance coverages and working with homeowners to help resolve whatever issues. With that, let's open it up to any burning questions you have about it. Again, just keep it as direct as you can and pointed, and we'll discuss it, or I'll answer it if I know the answer, or go from there. So,
you said you go on a website and get information.
pardon?
You said you go on the website and get information. Now, my question is, who has access to that?
Every Big Tree homeowner.
No, I'm talking about posting on the website. Who can post things on that website?
The Big Tree Board.
The Big Tree Board, and why is it? And when I call Cam, because one of your board members tried to get on the website to tell people they could park the Y, they said it was blocked and they couldn't get on it either, and you're the only one that had access. So how is it that you're telling me all board members can get on that website and post?
Well, it's a board responsibility. We're going to direct it. If there are questions or problems with us, let us know and we answer, or there's an email process which homeowners...
You're not understanding what I'm saying there.
Yeah, I do, and I don't really want to go any further with that. It's always...
No, if you said the board members have the right to get on there and post things, why can't they? And why can't Cam? And they said that you're the only one that can post to that website for these homeowners.
Well, we work with Cam, and if they feel something should be posted, we'll make sure it's posted.
That's not the issue. You just said that the board members have access,
Okay.
and they don't.
Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, why wasn't it let be done that we could park our car when city? My car wouldn't have crushed.
Exactly.
So you didn't send out an email telling us
So
that?
what?
Park our
I
car
said,
at the YMCA.
didn't we get an email saying we could park our car at the YMCA? My car wouldn't have been crushed if you would have sent an email out.
One of the board members.
You really don't need to have somebody tell you, you need to park your car.
Yes, you do.
Common sense
Oh,
will tell
come
you.
on, give them a break. Give me a.
Well, there's some practical. We're not perfect. Plus,
Well,
quite frankly, I'm a homeowner. I'm a volunteer. I don't get paid a dime. I've worked virtually full-time trying to make things as good as we can. Most homeowners are very appreciative and cooperative, and I really appreciate that. Unfortunately, we have some that are not. Chester?
Could we apply for an email address that is...
I have a hard time hearing with the fan there, frankly. I have a hearing loss in my right ear.
Apply for an
If you wanted to send me on a blast email to an email address, okay,
Yeah.
could you do that?
To your email address? Yeah.
Or could you give me an email address that, can I apply for an email account.
Well, if you're signed up for the website, you automatically have your email on it, then you're on the blast list.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So we can communicate any point that we want to everybody that's on the website.
Anything else?
Is that, and I think
Yes.
that answers the question.
Well, we have a lot of homeowners that aren't on the website, and we're
Yeah,
trying to get more and more people on. The people that were complaining the most are ones that really didn't know what was going on, hadn't seen the information, don't go to board meetings, don't volunteer for anything, and, you know.
And it would kind of be good if people that have access to the website try to network with people that don't, to pass the word along.
We're always available. Any homeowner that suggests something should be posted, we're wide open to it. We
Yeah.
work with Cam,
But I mean, when I get an email address and I know that somebody doesn't have the capability of getting email, then I could communicate within my block stuff that I.
I agree, yeah, fine,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
We've actually printed out material, and I personally delivered it to a couple of homeowners that don't have email addresses, and they asked me to. I mean, it's far better for people to have the email, because we can do it faster, cheaper, easier, and we won't miss anybody, so,
Yeah.
anyways.
Well,
So again,
I think that because we're all of the homeowners of the association are paying for that website, that CAM team should have access to the website to post a notice.
I agree.
all homeowners are saving a whole lot of money because we have a website that costs $35 a month. Cam charged us $175 for one single page letter. When we sent out a newsletter, had it printed and mailed out to homeowners, it cost us like $700. So the website is saving us a whole lot of money. We have no objection for Cam or anyone else requesting that certain information put on. And if it's relevant, we will make it available.
I can't get on the website.
Pardon?
One of my can't get on the website.
Why can't who get on?
Can. We
They-
were told
they
they
can.
couldn't. We were
They're-
told they
they're
couldn't.
not
We were
posting.
blocking it.
Yeah,
I'm not blocking it.
Yes, you are.
excuse me.
I called them and they said they did not have access to the website, although their logo and address was at the end of the email that you sent out.
And, I mean, do you have a problem with, is there anything that's not posted on the website that you want posted on?
Wait a minute, you just told me that it wasn't
Hey,
blocked.
you gotta raise your hand before you speak. And-
There you go.
Yeah,
You just told me it wasn't blocked, but your board member
when you
said
say
it was.
blocked, I meant every homeowner has access.
I said, that's not what I said. You're deflecting the question here. I said, I asked you, do the board members have access to that website to post? You
How do you
said yes.
define access? They don't, everybody,
Fine. If one of the board members, like Lisa, says, okay, I wanna post that you can park your cars at Y because the hurricane coming, she gets to get on it to post that so homeowners can see it. She couldn't get on it, she calls Cam. Cam says it's blocked, and you're the only one with access.
I appreciate your opinion, but
It's
we're
not
not,
an opinion, it's a fact.
hey, you're gonna leave?
Hey Glenn, take it easy.
It's a fact. It's
Right,
not-
Well, I
actually,
appreciate it.
I apologize, but it's a fact.
right,
Well, we're
right.
not opening up to everybody. We're not gonna have a sheet where everybody complains about everything back and forth and everybody answers. We're gonna provide meaningful information. If anybody feels information should be on there, please just let us know. Real simple.
All right, also, we gotta understand that not everybody in the neighborhood has a computer and has an email, okay? So even if it was posted, not everybody in the neighborhood's gonna get it. And if my car is sitting under a tree, I'm gonna move it, okay? I'm not gonna leave it there so it can get hit. So
Adrian?
it's wherever you guys wanna put
I
your car,
believe
just
we all
take it and
have
move it.
telephones.
Pardon?
I believe we all have landline phones or cell phones. And we should have everyone's number. And I would be the first one to volunteer to make telephone calls when there is a crisis.
Okay. I appreciate that. Okay, that's good. We basically, we should have a board of at least 5 or 7 members working on it. And again, unpaid volunteers that we do things in our personal time We'd appreciate, not that many people are volunteering to help out with a whole lot of things. We do the best we can, and we're certainly welcome to suggestions and ideas. We're not perfect. I never thought about the parking at the Y until the last minute someone told us and we moved our car, but, you know, hey, apologize if I'm not perfect. Anything else?
Well, I'll say one thing, I've lived out here a long time, and we've always been told that you can park our cars at the Y. And that's just,
We didn't
And that's
know.
great.
Well, I was
There are a
in-
lot of
Yeah,
residents.
I mean, I'm just saying, that has been in the past, when we had storms, that people
Yep, we parked there last
told
night.
to park their cars there.
I've never heard it.
And a lot of
I've been here
new,
5 years.
new residents though, they don't know that.
Well, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying it has been known,
Right.
and, you know,
And I only knew because someone else who had lived here a long time told me about it. But I knew there were people that didn't have email or weren't getting any message, and Glenn helped me, and we went and moved several people's cars that weren't able to walk over, bring it over here and walk back. And it was raining, it was windy and terrible outside, and
Exactly what I did last time.
you know,
One of the things we're gonna look at, and I'm gonna be proposing and discussing, is expanding our big tree board the way it should be, so we can get everything done. You can't expect one or two people to work 24/7 trying to do that. People calling you 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night with questions or complaints. I appreciate it, but, I mean, there's been a lot going on. There's a lot of maintenance and repair work going on. Just a whole lot of issues going on a day-to-day basis, so we'll do the best we can. Moving on, the second one has to do with big tree and homeowners insurance policy questions and issues. There were a number of questions earlier on. I don't know if they've been answered or are still open questions that you'd like to raise. Feel free to do so.
why did you renew the same policy that we had last year?
We didn't renew the same policy that we had last year. Bill Jasper spent an extensive period of time. He's got a career in insurance. We had an insurance consultant review with us every section of it. We got quotes from numerous companies. This is a process that took a month and a half, so that's clearly not the case, and it's not an identical problem. We didn't get our rates lowered the way we would have liked to, simply because we had some homeowner lawsuits back in 2014, which means we're paying almost 50% more than we should be, and it's going to take at least another year before we are able to get a rate reduction, but that's just the way it is. I can't change the past.
Well, what does the insurance insure exactly?
It's all covered right here.
All right, well,
I think that, I have a declaration page for my state farm policy that I have. And it delineates the coverage. The deductibles, 3% copay on maybe wind damage, hurricane. Okay, so what I think it would be good for us to do is come up with the declarations that are required, the coverage that's required for our.
If you read, there's like 4 pages on the association's insurance, and it outlines it point for point exactly what the coverage is. If you got a question or you're concerned about it, we'll deal with it, but
Well, what I'm talking
we're
about.
not hiding anything, everything's
The coverage
there.
for our individual units, what we need to do with that.
Well, that's the homeowners, we don't insure individual units.
Okay. I think I'm trying to make a point here that we could guide our unit owners in buying insurance for themselves by coming up with the idea of what the coverage is required and where what they need to get.
Well, I think that makes a lot of sense, and we have talked about it with Bill, and he plans on providing something. I mean, we obviously don't make the choices. Every individual homeowner has to decide what kind of deductibles, what kind of coverage, how much they can afford, what company they're going to use. that's not our decision. We
Yeah,
can
so
provide
at least
something.
they know the risk they're facing for not getting
And if
something.
they got a good insurance agent, I mean, that agent should be able to go through that in detail with them.
My understanding is that we don't have any kind of coverage on the grounds. And I'm just curious, if somebody falls on their sidewalk.
Liability, we do have extensive.
You do have it on the grounds. My understanding was it was just on the pool and the pavilion?
No, it's throughout the whole community.
Okay, how much coverage is that?
For $2 million.
Okay, on the grounds.
For the whole Big Tree community.
Okay.
That is one of the biggest liabilities we have. If somebody drowned in our swimming pool or
Right.
tripped and fell on a curb or something and they sued Big Tree, we'd all be in deep serious trouble. So we need that.
I got one other question.
Sure.
Is it true that the bylaws protect the board members from any kind of lawsuits or anything? If that's true, why don't we get rid of the D&O policy and save $14,000 a year?
Well, number one, it doesn't.
The bylaws don't do that?
D&O coverage is critical. Frankly, you won't get people that have any assets that even be willing to serve on a board
Right, well,
without it.
Somebody told me that the bylaws did that for y'all.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Well, maybe it ought to. Maybe that would be a nice amendment. And we could
Well,
save.
I don't think it'd work, quite
15.
frankly, because you're dealing, if they sue you in a court of law, good luck on saying our bylaws say I'm not.
Yeah. I think if you could prove that a board willfully acted inappropriately, then you got a case for a lawsuit.
Okay.
But, you know, that means that, okay, I won't go into that.
Well, maybe it would cut down on people doing things that they shouldn't do.
I think the thing that concerns me most is that we have no insurance at all on the buildings. You know, not the roofs, nothing. And we also have absolutely no list. CAM team has no comprehensive list of the homeowners and each homeowner and insurance that they carry. So if I am the only person who has insurance that lives in my building and something catastrophic were to happen, the building burns down or what have you, then, you know, my insurance only pays me for what I'm insured
I think
for.
Kay is familiar with that.
I'm
Kay?
speaking. And so if that were to happen, that sort of leaves, well, everybody would be homeless and I would just simply be written a check from my insurance company as it stands.
We tried, and I don't remember what year it was, to find out all of the homeowners' insurance. We did a mail out. We said, please let us know, have your insurance company mail it back to the board, who your carrier is, not how much you had, but who your carrier was. The state at that time told us that that's what we had to do, and that we had 2 years or so to get that done. We sent it out. The majority of the homeowners would not respond. We sent it out again, and then the state said, you do not have the right, nor do we have the legal teeth to put it in to make the homeowners tell anybody who their insurance is with.
Exactly.
We did try to do that. The state would not back us up, and they took that out of 720.
That's exactly my understanding. There's no way we can force any homeowner to do anything or to even give us the information.
So what I did with my building, I have gone to my building's homeowners and said, you know, we could be in trouble. This is who I have. Do you mind telling me who you have? And the new homeowner said, yes, I'll tell you who I have. And so everybody worked together in that particular building.
Well, that still leaves the community at large uninsured and at risk.
Not the
Does
community.
it not?
How do you figure that?
Everybody's
Let's suppose that the storm had been much, much worse. And 7 or 8 or 10 buildings had been very badly,
damage.
you know, not catastrophic, but a lot of damage to numerous buildings. We don't, as an HOA, have the funds to do those kinds of repairs. We have no insurance, so the only alternative would be to secure a loan that we would have to pay a special assessment or a higher assessment to make those repairs. That's where we are.
Well, it's just like owning a home. If you own your home and your next door neighbor's home gets hit by the hurricane, gets slammed, yours gets slammed, and you don't have insurance, oh well, you're just gonna have to take it out of your pocket. Insurance is insurance, just like driving a car.
Well,
We can't
townhome is
insure
different than
everybody's
a
car.
private residence.
Well, not really, it's your private residence.
You share 2 walls and a roof with 3 other people in here.
What's the
You
solution?
don't have a standalone
Well, what do we
private
do if the
residence.
state tells us we can't do that, and we have to go buy insurance, what do we do then?
What I would suggest is that we make some effort in trying to find some kind of insurance from some company that we could afford to pay for that would insure us in some kind of an event
So you
like
wanna
that.
raise
Not
the
gonna
people's
work.
dues then,
No, absolutely not.
okay?
So Adrian?
What about FEMA? If you have that much damage, you should be entitled to something from the federal government.
Yep.
We might,
FEMA.
but, you know, can you depend on that?
If you
I
have to
mean,
have flood insurance to do
That
that. I
doesn't
own
give
flood
me
insurance.
peace of mind,
Well,
frankly.
Frankly, I understand the problem and I understand the concern. And the problem is we don't have any practical solution. If anybody has a legal, workable, practical solution, we'd love to hear it. Okay?
There was legal documentation that was done by lawyers saying that we are not anywhere close to being a condominium. That we are townhomes, we own our ground that we sit on and the air above us, and a perimeter. So,
I'm sorry. I was just.
so, let me fit,
I apologize.
Let her finish. Go ahead, Ken.
so legally, we are townhomes.
Right.
Being townhomes, when we went to a city meeting, the guy said, the presentation person, who was a lawyer, said, why in the world do you have an HO3? You are, an HO6. You are homeowners. You are townhomes.
Right.
Everybody is supposed to have their own insurance.
Right.
And that's when it's all started in here. You have to have your own homeowner, and if there's catastrophic damage and there's 12 people that are hurt, or, their homes are hurt, everybody has to call their insurance and get their adjuster. And what happened with when we had one catastrophic thing in here, everybody's insurance adjuster worked together to get it done.
Okay. Thank you very much.
One other thing, the biggest problem I see is I'm the only person in my building that has replacement value insurance on the building. I think a lot of the new people that are moving in don't know about it. A lot of the old people don't know about it. And they're not even aware that they're supposed to have replacement coverage. I think I mentioned before, my contractor told me you should figure, $150 a square foot. That's a lot of money.
I agree. We recognize that as a problem. Again, Bill is running for the board. He's an insurance professional by career. He knows the stuff upside down and backwards. He did talk about putting together some information on the website, an e-blast, which outlines the basic parameters and coverages for homeowners insurance. Again, it's the homeowner's prerogative to choose and decide exactly what kind of coverage they decide to buy, what they can afford, what their deductibles are, choose their insurance company, and legally there's no way we can force them or do anything further.
I was told when I bought, I was only supposed to insure from the drywall in, and y'all were responsible for the house.
That's not true.
That's what I was told, that's what
That's
many
bad
homeowners in
information.
here was told.
Kate just said it's bad information.
in 2012, it did change, Janet? And a mail out was sent to every homeowner, twice.
Okay. Chuck?
Yeah, we went through this before, but there's a real history in here of an issue. And the issue goes back to when the building was built in 1982. And what happened was that, and I went and researched this really a lot. And what happened was that they filed with the state as a condominium. But when they went to the county, they never filed the proper paperwork to be a condominium. So the county took them as a town, as an HOA. And the county rules over the state when the property, with the property values and the assessments. So the problem is that we sit on our property as basically a shared community, but we're an individual homeowner association. And that's where the lying problem has always been. And what happened was that when the insurance companies looked at it, since we weren't listed as a condo with the counties, it became a value-added policy to cover everything else, and that's where the cost became.
Now, I understand the history and the confusion, it's quite.
And that's where the problem still lies today.
Back then, Chuck, did our insurance person that dealt with the association write a separate policy for each building?
Yes, there were individual, and I gave you copies of that, Chet, I showed them to you.
Yeah.
That each building was individually insured with a $5,000 deductible per unit.
Okay, we have to deal with today, though.
Right, no, but that, so in other words, we're stuck as an HOA. But Lisa, you're 100% right. There's an issue, what if somebody doesn't have insurance? So that's the conundrum we live in.
What do you do
How
about
much
it?
was
And I think it was saying the 3 people that live in my building.
Right, and that's
Me
the
don't.
right.
I know they don't.
And that's the conundrum we live, yeah.
They have insurance on the drywall, like you said, the drywall in.
Right,
And they don't realize that they should be, the building should be insured for close to $1 million.
and lastly, they can't be forced to buy
That's
it.
what most of us were told, only from the drywall end.
Right.
Insured for
And
it.
that was
How much was the insurance?
145,000
A year?
a year.
A lot of money.
Well, the other thing is that in our declaration of covenants, conditions, and restrictions, in Article 5, it clearly states that in addition to maintenance upon the common area, the association shall provide exterior maintenance upon each unit that is subject to assessment hereunder as follows, and it lists the repair, replacement, and care of roofs, gutters, and downspouts. So, in the event that the roof was damaged, the association, according to Article 5, is responsible to repair it, is it not?
No.
It says it right here.
Well, we are the association.
That's maintenance.
That's maintenance though.
It says repair and replacement.
They're drawing a
Maintenance.
line between maintenance and accident.
And emergency.
Not,
Act of God's not covered.
not us, the insurance companies draw the line. They underwrite the policy, not the homeowners association. The insurance company draws the line, and this is what we found out. Because we tried, and the insurance company draws the line on what they will cover and what they won't cover, and they provide the definition.
And it's exactly the same thing with the trees. Unfortunately, a tree falls on a house, and the repair for the house and the removal of the tree is legally and insurance-wise responsibility of the homeowner, not the association. It's just the way it is, that's the law.
I've had 2 cars destroyed from trees.
Yeah.
Need to cut some trees.
Okay, anyways, we'll have Bill try to provide some meaningful information. And if anybody here or any homeowner listening knows of some practical ideas or solutions to help protect us, we'd be delighted to hear, but I really don't know of any.
Cement everything.
Well, I think it would be prudent to get some various quotes from,
I'm sorry.
the various levels of insurance so that we at least know or have an idea.
Sure.
Okay, number C is maintenance and repair activities. We're currently actively working on building 19, and we'll soon be starting building 17. We hope to do others, but until the financial costs are actually determined, including the cost from Hurricane Matthew, which we're still incurring, we want to do as much as we can. At the same time, we have to be financially responsible. So we will get those done. I don't know if we'll do any additional until the beginning of next year. On the other hand, I think we're right on track, frankly. We said that our goal was to do all major repairs for all Big Tree buildings before the end of the second year, before the end of 2017. And we started with the worst cases first. We still have a lot of work to do, no question, but we've accomplished a whole lot. And I think we are in a position to move forward. Starting in 2017, we're going to do a complete fresh assessment of all the buildings, have contractors in each area provide an analysis and provide bids, and sit down as a board and work out a budget and plan to get it accomplished.
Yeah, I wanted to know, if you have a minor repair, do you have to wait 5 years because you're handling all the major repairs? I mean, like our fence is in horrible condition. I don't think it would take much, but it seems as if, repairs like that are put right at the end.
I think they have to be, quite frankly. I think we have to deal with the most serious problems first. If somebody's got a bad roof that has to be replaced, or they have leaks, certainly, I've replaced 2 cases where the gates have fallen off or are not working, and everybody deserves to have the privacy and security of a gate. But if we went around trying to replace the wood rot on every fence throughout the association, we'd never get the buildings done. So it definitely has to come last.
That goes along with the buildings.
Pardon?
That goes along with the buildings, part of the buildings.
Well, we are doing the buildings.
Well, the fence goes along with the buildings.
Well, the point he's trying
It's
to
all
make
connected.
is if we have a leak, if you've got a leak in your place, would you rather that be fixed first or you fix it?
Yeah, if the roof falls in, what good is the fence?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It used to be, if we had a complaint or a little problem, we call and a maintenance person would come and fix it, no big deal. But now we feel like there's nobody around who's going to fix anything.
I mean, that's the ideal situation, and that's the goal. When we took over as the board, there was so much deferred maintenance that had built up over the years. It was absolutely impossible to do all that kind of stuff. That's why we developed the plan. It's been published in a newsletter, discussed at the buildings. We are prioritizing, taking the worst problems first, taking more serious things, dealing immediately with emergency issues, but we can't fix every little thing. It's just impossible for us to do. Again, moving forward, as we move forward, we'll be able to do more and more of that as we complete it. And the ideal situation is exactly like we said. All the basic critical repairs are completed. The plan is at the end of next year, and from that point on, we should have enough funds where if something major comes up, you should be able to put in a work order and have it responded to very promptly. We just don't have the money to do it. And unless we're going to have a special assessment or, which we're not recommending, we'll get to them as quickly as we possibly can. But I think we're being fair to every homeowner as absolutely best we can. We're making every homeowner advised and aware of exactly what we're doing, exactly what the costs are for what we're doing, exactly what our priorities are. And I think it's a very fair, a very solid plan. If we wanted to get Big Tree to the point where all the buildings were in great condition, the way to do it would be not to run around and do piecemeal fences and all these little things. We have to look at the big serious issues first and go from there. So that's our plan, and I'm very, very optimistic that, and again, we'll be presenting hopefully in January, when we complete our review of work still to be done at Big Tree to achieve our goals, and we have all our contract bids and all the information. We'll be presenting that to all the homeowners. We'll be evaluating which buildings we feel are in the worst condition, in need of repairs, exactly when and how it'll be done, move forward, just like we did this year. Again, if you look around, Big Tree is a very different place than it was a year ago.
It's only because of Lisa.
Pardon?
It's only because of Lisa.
A what?
Until you took the power away from her, you didn't have the work done. The only reason you're doing it now is because you have to do it.
That makes sense to me. But
Nothing makes sense to you.
Makes sense to me.
It's like what I called you, I asked you on that one.
we started this year with a huge amount of work to do, okay?
For a little bit of money.
We established a goal to make Big Tree great again, putting primary emphasis on repairing our buildings over a 2-year period of time. We don't have an unlimited bank account. We are very, very carefully scheduling and budgeting and planning everything we do. And I think most homeowners, particularly if they read the newsletters and they review things, are completely aware of what we're doing. And I think we're getting really, really good results. The buildings where we have replaced roofs, and you know, take a look at 19 or 9 2 weeks from now and look how they will look compared to what the situation was before. Same thing with several other, a whole list of other buildings that were, homes weren't able to be sold at Big Tree before. Quite frankly, all the sales were falling through because they couldn't get passed for the WDO reports. We've had 15 sales so far, and our average sales prices are up over 40% in less than a year. I would say that's pretty significant progress. I think there's ways to go. I think we will continue to increase our property values and make it a better community as we move forward, implementing the rest of our plan. And you know, the next step is obviously to work at the infrastructure. We got old lighting, we got cracked streets, we got sewers, we got irrigation system, electrical, we got a lot of other things to do. But again, we have to deal with the priorities and take it one step at a time. Alrighty. The next, quite frankly, you know, while I feel that, you know, we have accomplished an awful lot this year. And again, if you go through the newsletters and you look at the specifics, and you go out in the field and you look at the buildings that were worked on and the work that's been done, even the improvement in landscaping and our signs and our safety issues, there's been a lot of things that have been done and a lot of improvements. The really, really tough part, frankly, is the fact that we haven't had a real board. I mean, we need a large, you know, significant working board that's able to work together. 1 or 2 people just can't do as much as, you know, we've gotten a lot done, but we could have done even better if we had a full board.
And we're more than welcome, you're more than welcome to sign up for the board and help us out.
Well, I'm on the board, and I was unauthorized to do any more work in Big Tree.
For good reason.
We weren't running out of money.
Well, we can talk about that, but it's...
Yeah.
Something to say.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, we moved here in June, and when I was looking in here, the first thing I did was try to find information about the HOA.
Right.
Because that was very important to know that they're fully funded and taking care of the community. And at that time, I saw your 5-year plan.
Right.
And historically, it didn't look good, but when I saw that, I thought much better about buying it. Because otherwise, we probably would not.
Well, thank you very much. And that leads us to another subject. I'm going to be proposing an increase in the board for up to 7 members. I'll give you more details on why, give you an opportunity to discuss it, and we will then take a board vote. But we've had some really outstanding new people buying in our community. We're lucky to have a couple of them running for the board, and I'll introduce them to you in a minute. All 7 people that are running for the board, give them an opportunity to take a minute or 2 to tell you about their backgrounds and how they feel they can contribute to the board. Granted, the election is still open to any other Big Tree homeowner is more than welcome to jump in, put a resume together, qualify. What I'm looking for basically is a good, solid team that we continue to work forward, move forward in a positive way to accomplish our goals and really get things done the way they should be. So, again, I'd like to briefly introduce the board candidates and have them stand up and say a few words, and And after that, we'll talk about expanding the board and what it takes, and we'll actually be proposing a vote. The first one I'd like to introduce is a gentleman by the name of Richard Wakely that's sitting right here. Richard and his lovely wife, Bev, purchased Kathleen Como's house a few months back. Richard, by the way, is a regional manager for a property management company, Peninsula Properties. So he's got a huge amount of experience. I think he could be a tremendous asset to the board. My opinion, I'll let Richard speak for himself. He is a candidate for election to the board. Richard?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Richard Wakely, and I'm running for the board, one of the spots on the board. And I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, originally from Georgia. Grew up in Augusta, Georgia, actually. Moved here in 1983. Yeah, go for it. Moved here in 1983. Transferred to a big property down here called Brd Meet10.26.16. So I've been in the property management business for 42 years. But I haven't really run any boards like this. Mostly I'm a regional manager that have on-site managers at each property that I run. I've run them as far as Dallas, all the way to Miami. Far north is St. Clair, Michigan. And right now I run properties in Orlando and in Bradenton, Florida. And, you know, I want to make Big Tree great again too. I really do.
And I'm sure people like this wouldn't have bought a home in Big Tree if they had.
Let me give you a little bit of history on that. When we were looking for a place to live, we started probably 6 months ago trying to find a place where there's a lot of houses, a lot of condos. Then we started looking at Big Tree, and the price point here was great for what you get, square footage and everything else. I used to ride through here at night, looking at it, see what kind of people were in here. We rode right every day, and we really liked it. And then when I finally got in, we bought a place and loved it. And I read Larry's plan, board's plan about the 5-year plan you have. And it is a great plan. I think it's well done. The good thing about the plan is at the end of 2017, this place is going to have a lot of money to spend on things like sprinkler systems. You need to fix the furniture that's coming into the property, really get that looking good. It's going to help everybody's home value. And because I want landscaping too, I want plants. But right now I'm having to wait until we get there.
The big reason why that's going to happen, at the end of 2017, we're going to only have one roof that needs to be replaced for the next 12 and a half years. The roofing is the single biggest expense item that we have. The roof and the things that go with it. So that's going to put us in a position to move forward in the following year to be able to do all these things and have a whole lot more money to really improve the community. That's a great point.
Yeah, but anyway, I want to make Big Tree great again too. So.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next candidate I'd like to introduce is Joshua Manning. Joshua and his wife Anita bought Thomas Dunn's property on Big Tree Terrace, the building next to mine. Joshua's got a great background in the IT area field as a systems administrator and corporate trainer. Anita is also interested in participating in the board. She's already signed up for the documents committee and is already working on the areas where we're working to improve our old documents that have a lot of problems right now, as Chester is well aware, and Louise. I think Joshua, in my opinion, would also make a really great addition to our 217 Big Tree Foot Board. So, Joshua?
Hello, I'm Joshua Manning. I'm originally from Florida, from Jacksonville, Florida. I grew up in, born and raised here. My wife is from New York.
How did that happen?
She moved to the great state of Florida.
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York, not from the city. But yeah, I have the same feeling about his plan for the 5-year plan. It sounds great. I mean, if we all work together, we can get this thing done. And I know that there's a lot of complaints and there's a lot of issues that we can all sit here and point fingers or whatever. But if we're not up here doing anything about it, then what's the point? So that's what I'm here for, is to get things done. Thanks.
Next, is Bill Jasper is running for the board. I think most of you know who Bill is. He's at his home right now in Pittsburgh. Bill has got a great management background, a great insurance background, having been in the field for a lot of years, knows it upside down and backwards. He'll be coming back down to Victory in the very, very near future. Bill has been on our finance committee, so he's worked with me and Luis in terms of setting up the financial plans to get done the things that we need to get done. Bill has also been a big help in helping with the website to get that up and to share information and ideas, and also in the newsletter. So Bill will speak for himself. And by the way, the resumes for all of the candidates and all the election information is also being posted on the Victory website. So you'll have detailed information on all of the candidates that are running for the board. So, okay, next person running is Luis Lera, and you probably know Luis. He's been at our board meetings on a regular basis. Luis has been participating in 2 of our committees over the last year, on the Finance Committee with Bill Jasper and myself, and also on the Documents Committee. So he spent a lot of time. He's got a very strong management and professional background. He's been a big help to us so far, and in my opinion, he'd be a super addition to our 217 board. Luis?
I'm running for the board this year, as opposed to last year. I got involved with a lot of the subcommittees, because I thought that that's where a lot of the grunt work had to be done on gathering data, analyzing data, and then pushing it up to the board members so that they can make an educated decision on what they had to do. We did that in the Finance and Budget Committee with Bill Jasper and Larry, and also we were working with Katie and Chester on all of the governance documents. So the documents are very, very old documents. They still refer to the Gates Corporation, which is no longer an element in this facility, and they have no bearing here. So we're going through that document to try and bring it up to speed so that the language within the document is clear, so that everyone can understand that obviously that has to go through the legal process, get approved through the lawyers, so that whatever is updated in the document doesn't reflect a change, an inadvertent change that has a direct effect on the homeowners. So I have 40 years experience in aviation with a Fortune 500 company, General Electric, who design and manufacture jet engines for military and commercial aircraft. I was part of their engineering and marketing division. And as such, worked with the local Navy repair facility on setting them up to repair the engines for the F-18 aircraft. So I've got a lot of experience from a middle management standpoint, finance, and also in the technical area, and I'd like to bring that to the Big Tree community as well.
Thank you, Luis. Next candidate is Chester Brown. Chester's been a resident homeowner at Big Tree for some time. Chester has served on the Documents Committee over the last year, made some very, very valuable contributions and ideas to helping us improve that. And so a lot of you probably already know Chester, but go ahead.
Excuse me. My name is Chester Brown. I can define myself as having been a pest around here for the last 15 years, trying to get in and involved in everything it's been involved, that Big Tree's involved with. I've studied this situation quite a bit, understand the ideas and the concerns surrounding shared ownership. Believe that we need a very diligent approach to getting things done around here, and would like to the clarification of the controlling documents is one of the elements I think is critical. I'm hoping that we can define good processes here so that we can transition from year to year without a lot of disruption, which has occurred over the past. I certainly support us becoming better neighbors. And to that end, I would run for the board.
Thank you. Next, we have this lovely young lady right here who's been a Big Tree owner since 2014. She's got a lot of computer background and skills in software programs, experience as an editorial assistant, administrative assistant, and I think could be a big help to the board. So Adrian, welcome.
You're gonna,
Wherever. Go ahead.
as what kids say, small but mighty. I just love Big Tree, I really do, and going to live here for the first time around. And I would like to be able to be supportive of communicating with people in such emergencies as I contacted people by phone if there's something that we all need to know right away. And been very happy to serve you all. I'm not quite as qualified as these previous men, but I am willing to serve.
There you go.
And the last candidate is myself. Most of you know me. I've got a master's degree in business and 30 years as a director and vice president of major multi-billion-dollar companies. Also was a real estate broker owner for a number of years. I'm retired now. Live at Big Tree with my lovely wife Pat over there. And the reason I'm running for the board is we really like it. We want to stay here, but we really want a really great community to live in. So anyways, that's it. I'm going to propose increasing the board to 7 members and certainly additional Big Tree homeowners are certainly welcome and able to throw their hats in the ring to also run for the board. And it'll be the homeowners themselves which will determine which of us gets elected to the board. But again, I think that the key thing is that we have a positive functioning team.
Can we nominate somebody?
Pardon?
Can we nominate somebody?
You can at the meeting, you can't do it here. All we can do is vote on the number of people. According to the bylaws, 1 time per year, the board, prior to the election, the board has the opportunity to change the number of board members for the coming year. Last year, the prior board decided to reduce it from 5 to 3. And again, I think that's a huge mistake. And it's really made it difficult on us to try to do all the things that need to be done. So I'm going to be submitting an official proposal to increase the number of board candidates and elected board members for the 2017 board to seven board members. And I'll open it up to any questions or discussions ahead of time. And if not, we'll go ahead and vote. So
We don't need to propose it or vote for it, it's in the documents. And last year, you were the one that wanted to have 3 members on the board.
I'm not sure.
No, it's true.
It's absolutely untrue. The prior board only ones that had the authority to change it, and they changed it when you got the election notice. It said you can vote for 3 board members. This year I'm proposing when you get the election notice and the list of candidates, it's going to say you can vote for 7 board members. The 7 members, regardless of how many run, whether it's 7 or 10 or 20, the top 7 vote getters from the homeowners will be the new 2017 board for Big Tree. So
It
I
says
propose.
it right in the documents.
I'm not going to
Right here,
argue
I
about
can
it.
read it. This is the only legal document this HOA
We've already had
has,
an
and
attorney
it's
look
in
at
here.
it, Lisa. That was changed by the prior board. We had nothing to do with it.
They couldn't change it.
Well, they
They
did
didn't
change.
change the documents.
Well, how can we only have 3 board members?
Because you wanted it. Because you
He
wanted
wasn't
that.
even a member of the board last year for the last quarter, if I may speak and say that. My husband, Larry Kahn, resigned from the 2015 board, September of 2015. So how can he make a decision of how many people will run for the board? Exactly.
Well, he did when Little Jasper sent him
on the paper
paper.
for us to vote for.
We have a
There was only 3.
I have to make a motion. I move that that the board proclaim a 7-member director election this year.
I'm in favor of it. All those in favor on the board say aye. Aye. Motion passed. We will have 7 board members for 2017. Thank you. Okay, there's one additional item that we're told legally we should be voting on. In Article 4, Section 7 of the Covenants and Restrictions, said the board will affix an amount of assessments for the coming year 30 days prior to the assessment year. So I want to make a motion that there will be no dues increases and no special assessments for the coming year in 2017. It's open for discussion if anybody feels differently. If not,
I second the motion.
I want to find out how that decision is made not to increase assessments. If we are so poor right now, whose decision is it not to raise the stock?
majority of the board members legally.
And you, think the 3 people sitting up there made the decision?
Yes.
Shouldn't that be subject to a vote by the community?
No, it's not.
We don't have no say.
The legal documents do not work that way.
I had a thought that perhaps if there was an increase in the assessment, it would cover contingencies. Because, like this storm came up, and, if it had a worse effect,
Well, the documents do provide an emergency the right to have a special assessment, and they got the rules for voting, and you have to have a certain vote on the membership, and that would certainly be followed if we had the, major hurricane or fire or emergency. But what I'm saying is the board will make no planned dues increase or special assessments, and absent some horrific, unforeseen instance, that's a settled. You can count on your dues the same. As a matter of fact, we've said in our 5-year plan that I feel that our dues do not have to be increased at all for the whole 5-year period of time. And there does not need to be any special assessment, with one caveat, and that's that the board in power at the time properly and wisely utilize the funds available. I believe there's plenty of money to do what needs to be done to make our community great again. And, go ahead.
I got a question. How is it that this is 2017, but you're making a decision for the 2017 board?
you have to do
There was no assessment. What's that?
Well, it's got to be made 30 days before the beginning of the year.
So you have the right to do it for the new board?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the documents say we're supposed to do it. So I make a motion that we not have any assessments or dues increases for the coming year, absent any outstanding emergency. All in favor?
No assessments.
Motion passed. Okay.
Count the votes?
Well, actually,
Sorry,
it's the board
did you
that
count the
people.
votes?
There's just
Pardon?
You know the motion passed.
Yeah, there's only 3 people that votes that count.
Can I assume we've got 2 yeas and a nay here
And do
on
it.
the board? Is that correct?
Pardon me?
Then you have, you and Larry voted yea and,
Yes, majority of the board.
okay.
Okay.
That's why there's only 3 that say let them vote wherever they want to.
Lastly is the treasurer's report, and I am fortunately or unfortunately the treasurer also. So if you flip the last couple pages of your handout, we'll run through the finances. If you were at the meeting last month, you may remember me saying that I hope to increase the cash we had available at least $10,000 to $12,000 in the next 30 days. As a matter of fact, I think that they will probably increase this month, primarily because we won't get all the bills from a lot of the stuff that's being done right now. But we went from $102,859 to $125,409 at the end of September. So obviously did increase approximately $25,000 for the month, more cash. When you you look at the next page, which is the actual income and operating expenses, it shows our income expenses, which are relatively stable. They're budgeted, income that's actually increased because we fairly dramatically reduced almost 50% the amount of accounts payable, and it's down to only like 4 old cases in the legal process. But absent that, almost everybody is up to date or very, very close to being up to date with their dues. So we don't have the problem of having large numbers of homeowners way behind in their dues anymore, which is a positive. So our actual income for the month of September was $36,341. Our general and administrative expenses were $64.95. The budgeted expense was $10,636. This is the same budget that I basically had last year. So we're $4,000, a little over $4,000 under the budget in the administrative. Grounds, building, and maintenance, you can see the expenses. Building maintenance, we spent $5,500, $10,000 was budgeted. This is just for the single month. WDO, which is a separate category, which can be kind of confusing because the numbers get mixed up, but that's the way it was set up. Well, building the WDO number.
Oh, WDA number.
Yeah. Well, if that's correct, we would have been, those numbers don't add up.
It seems like there's been reclassing of that, of the W.
Well, they could have, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, the vast majority, roof maintenance, we didn't do any roofs last month. The budget was $41.66, so we're up on that. We're in the process of doing 2 right now, and whether they'll both be paid for, they'll probably be in the month of November, and we'll probably have one paid for in Building 17 in December. So the roof expenses is going to go up significantly, which we planned for. The year-to-date figures, you can see that the budget numbers are pretty good, except for the building maintenance and repair and roofing, where we spent $300,000 and the budget was $218,000. So we're $82,000 over the budget, which again was projected. We have planned, and we do plan to spend that money, but at the same time we're going to make sure that the cash reserves, the cash on hand that we have available, is always at a level where we can handle unforeseen events. So I think it's pretty predictable. Next month we will see perhaps a slight increase in the expenses, and then November and December we'll be paying for a lot of the maintenance and repair work, and our $125,000 we're projecting is going to be around $65,000 or $70,000. So that's basically that. Any questions on the financial stuff? Okay.
Larry, excuse me.
Pardon? Sure.
Yeah, do you have a date for the annual meeting yet?
We do. It's projected. Let me talk a little bit about that. Thanks for reminding me. It's 6 weeks from Saturday, December 10th. And I went to talk to the Dean Shackelford, who's the executive director of the YMCA, about scheduling the meeting. And he was gracious enough to offer to cancel and reschedule YMCA classes so we can have a much bigger and nicer room for our annual meeting. So I have a room that's over twice this size and really, really nice, which is going to be great for our annual meeting. It's also much more convenient, obviously, to homeowners rather than having to drive out to Orange Park or library has been booked, because I wasn't sure we were going to be able to work it out here. It would be kind of tight with the annual meeting in this room, but the room we're having it in, there's going to be plenty of room, and it'll be at 10 a.m. You'll be getting an official notice, which should be in the mail tomorrow. So you should be getting that in your mailbox in the next couple of days. And again, if you're on the website, all the additional information on the board candidates and any questions that come up about the election, we'll be more than happy to answer.
Is that a
Joan?
Saturday?
That's a Saturday.
Second Saturday.
The governing documents say that the annual meeting will be on the second Saturday of December every year. So that's basically the schedule. We really don't have any new business. We covered all the important items that we had on our agenda, unless someone else has a pressing matter. Chuck?
Just two quick questions. Have you been notified, or is anyone notified about the debris pickup of the mosquitoes?
The what?
The debris pickup of the mosquitoes, are we on a schedule?
We're working on it.
That's
We're
what
working on it, both of us.
They were out today, and they'll be back tomorrow, and they're working on it. There are several problems with that. One is the fact that, for example, the tree companies, I was on the phone as soon as I found out the trees were down to the tree company that I used to take down the huge pine tree. At 9:15 in the morning, they already were out on 7 emergency calls and had a whole boatload full of calls. The problem is, they reserved a crane. When they went to pick it up, the price was doubled. Same thing with the side loader. They can't even get them now.
What about the mosquitoes? Have they sprayed here yet?
No, they have not. I spoke with the lady at the city today for the second time. My neighborhood where I live has not been picked up either.
Right.
Okay? But what she said is what they're doing is picking up bagged debris first.
Oh, no, I'm talking about mosquitoes.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
They're picking up that, and then the big trucks, the big, huge trucks with the claw will come in and pick up the rest of the debris besides what Larry's doing with one of the tree companies. But what they're gonna do is they're gonna come in and spray within the next week. She said
Okay.
within 7 days, they're gonna come in and spray the places that still have debris. The ones that the debris has been picked up, they're not gonna do it, but they'll do the ones that still have debris.
Okay.
I said at the beginning, we need to be out of here at 8:30. We're only a couple minutes away, so 1 or 2 quick questions.
Okay, Sunday night, the neighbors that live outside of Big Tree, and I live in the back, they had a huge bonfire going with embers flying up into the trees. And one of our neighbors at Big Tree called the police, but we didn't have an address. And it was concerning to me because things are dry out there. And I don't know whether anybody else has had this problem, but I think it's a problem because those embers can fly and ignite something at Big Tree.
We had that problem before. There was a neighbor behind us
Right.
out there that did the same thing, and I called 911, the fire station. If you tell them when you call 911, say it's the neighborhood directly behind Big
Yeah, she
Tree.
did say that, but they needed an address.
And they normally, they'll come out because they know what we bump up against that neighborhood. So if it's Station 51,
If it's a big fire,
They should
they're
be
pretty
out.
visible too.
If
so-
you want to get around that, when you call, do what I did, because I had a problem with people behind me. I gave them my address. They came to my house and I
Oh,
said,
when you showed them.
there you go.
Hey.
There you go, you can do that
they,
too.
That's a good point.
You get our address, then you point them out.
Okay, one last question,
One
Joe.
more thing.
Yeah.
Garbage is to be picked up Thursdays and recycle every other Thursday. Just contact the city.
Well, you know what,
But they're still picking it up.
Wednesday for garbage.
Let me say something here.
Wednesday's garbage.
I got a document, I got a chart that told me that all pickup was gonna be on Thursday.
Yeah, it's all wrong.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. And then we should-
Wednesday
We
for
went
garbage.
through this before, remember?
We went through
When I went
this,
through
and we
this
spoke
before.
with the city. Yeah, garbage is picked up on Wednesdays. You put your garbage out Tuesday night, and recycle is picked up every other week on Thursday.
And we're the only community that
In the
has it.
city.
Everybody else is the same day. So-
Yeah, if you put it out, for example, Pat mentioned me, we gotta get our recycle out for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
Get it out tonight, yeah.
Hey,
Puppies are
one
playing.
Sure.
Up at the pool, it says no alcohol and no smoking on conveyance, correct?
Yeah.
Now, when did it go to the homeowners and got 2/3 approval? So that's.
It doesn't have to.
Yes, it does.
It's been that way before.
No,
February of
you have to read it.
2016.
You better read what it says, it does not.
February of 2016.
No, it has to go to a vote of the homeowners, not the board.
We did go to a vote of the homeowners that were here in the meeting for February of 2016.
That's not 2/3.
Okay, I appreciate your guys attending, and any other questions, shoot an email off or